On quarterbacks, guys. We spent a lot of time in the last 2 days talking about them. Kyle, we'll start with you. What is the guy that's a non-quarterback that you think is going to have an immediate day one impact?
Well, I was laughing yesterday when Peter was saying, couldn't and maybe shouldn't the other 31 teams have a pre-draft meeting regarding the Chiefs? Like, can't we just play defense on Kansas City a little bit? They've won back-to-back Super Bowls. Apparently that meeting didn't happen because they got literally the fastest player in NFL history to Patrick Mahomes. And you credit the Chiefs for that. And Xavier Worthy, you always get mad at the other teams about how couldn't someone just fall on that one and say, he doesn't really fit into our draft plans. We don't really actually like him. In fact, we met him and we hated him. But you know what? We're going to draft him so the Chiefs don't. Nobody did that. The Chiefs got it. They got him with a pick they traded for the conference rival with. It's one of these things where you can't actually believe that this happened. And here's what I believe. You really don't think that Andy Reid is going to have a plan for him? You think they drafted him just to sit him around and be on the backside of some passes to Kelsey? No. Mahomes is going to do some reverse pivot, clap his hands, do a dance, throw a backwards lateral to Worthy, and he's going to go 300 yards for his first NFL touchdown. You know it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. And, Tom, the rest of the teams that didn't draft him know it's going to happen, so you're just going to have to just sit there and take it.
There were so many intriguing receivers. We saw a bunch go off the board, up top in round one, to the bottom of round one, and then at the top of round two. We didn't coordinate this, but you started off the show talking about Ladd McConkey to the Chargers. That is an instant impact type of player. Yes, there were some medical concerns that contributed to him going in the second round, not in the first. But I talked to one offensive coordinator prior to the draft, not from the Chargers, who said, that's my favorite guy in this draft, just because of all the different ways you can use him inside and outside. He's tough. He'll break tackles. I mean, look at this. And he's got some speed to him as well. Jim Harbaugh and company, Greg Roman, they're going to have a plan for how they're going to get Ladd McConkey the ball. And let's be honest, you look at the rest of the Chargers depth chart right now, maybe Quentin Johnston, last year's first-round pick, maybe he breaks out under a new staff here. But there figured to be a lot of balls headed Ladd McConkey's way. He's stepped up time and again. May not look the part, but he is one of those players who, when you watch him play in the biggest moments, in the biggest games, going for national championships, he steps up to the plate.
What I love about this draft is we said for months that this is a wide receiver deep draft. Kyle, you go wide receiver. Tom, you go wide receiver. I'm following suit. I'm going with Keon Coleman, who ends up in Buffalo with Josh Allen as his quarterback. You talk about day one impact, being able to go out there and make plays. For him, you're going to get a chance, as that I do not believe is Keon Coleman, but you're going to get a chance to go out there and make plays because Stephon Diggs is now a Houston Texan, and Blake Corum, who's joining the Rams, is going to be a huge impact as well and be able to run the ball and make plays for them alongside of Kyron Williams and Matthew Stafford as his quarterback. As I'm freestyling talking about Blake Corum and Keon Coleman, yes, just keep the screen on me. I can make up for it. Keon Coleman, unbelievable wide receiver. What I love about him, he didn't run the fast 40, but he is a guy that goes up and he makes contested catches. And he ran through the gauntlet at the combine, had the fastest time going through that, and also catching the deep ball. So you look at that for Josh Allen, a quarterback that likes to take chances and give his wide receivers an opportunity. He loses big play Gabe Davis, who goes to the Jaguars, and he loses Stephon Diggs. Now you have another guy in Keon Coleman that you can throw the ball up to, and he can make plays. Jane, just get ready because we're going to throw up any prospect on the screen and you're going to have to talk about them in depth. So be prepared with whatever you
I love it. Well, you guys all went wide receivers. I'm going with a receiving threat. The Raiders went with a tight end. They, of course, needed a right tackle. They needed, what was the other thing they needed? They needed a corner. They go out and get Brock Bowers, who has gotten George Kittle comps, which was a little shocking because they had Michael Mayer last year. But pair him with Devontae Adams and Jacoby Meyer. He may not have to do it all, but I think what's important about having him out there, his impact will be that he will get fed and he'll also allow other people to eat. So I really love seeing what they're doing with him there. We'll have to see who's throwing to him. You know, Gardner Minshew, Aiden O'Connell. There's Spencer Rattler that's still there. But I did really like that one. I think he's going to make an immediate impact with them for the Raiders.